as a parent, take the time and make those good decisions for them to set a good example, which is why I try to come here and exercise. So they know that when they're exercising, I'm sweating too, just like they are.
We work with children from ages 2 to 5, and it involves movement, which is our exercise, and just creative movement, having fun with scarves and bean bags, and just having moving in that section. We also do story time, which we help teach health and nutrition through that, and we have our crafts, and then our loved snacks to try and help teach them to eat healthy.
He's made his sandwich.
Eat healthy foods to keep your body strong. Too much candy, junk, and pop does your body wrong. Eat healthy food. They're good for you.
4, 5.
Individual behavior change is important, but if you've got a system or a lack of a system in place that's contributing to a problem, you have to address it. Policies regarding food and fitness and activity can be very important, not only in our schools, but also in our after-school programs and our daycare centers and our child care providers. We do have some child care centers that choose not to celebrate birthdays the same way other places do. They actually have the parent bring in a box of cake mix, and they prepare the box of cake mix together as a class project, and the parent is to bring fresh fruit to slice and serve on top of the cake.
Our cultures celebrate occasions with food. When you're happy, you eat, let's go out for dinner and celebrate. And when you're sad, oh, come here, come on over, we'll have something to eat because you're sad. And so we started to think about rewarding with just not food at all. And so we use stickers, and we use extra time in the art center, or you could be the first one at the water table. And what we're doing at that is building intrinsically motivated children. Children that get satisfaction and gratification from themselves as the reward of doing something, instead of an external always coming in that, wow, I get to have some kind of a reward food-wise.
Part of it is just somebody stepping up and saying, we're not going to do it this way anymore. This is not our policy anymore.
You're probably going to create standards of health as well to really focus on the kind of nutrition, exercise, instructional elements that ought to be put in schools to really get our kids started on some good early habits.
We created a governor's scorecard in Virginia, which is all positive, and so you can be a bronze, a silver, or a gold winner as a school based on your nutritional components around snack machines, around your lunch, around the amount of activity, and year-over-year improvement, and that's been very positive.
We're asking children to make choices that some adults won't even make. You know, you're asking a child, what do you want, pizza or a salad? Well, a child's going to choose the pizza. Most adults are going to choose the pizza over a salad.
Wouldn't it be great if you started the school day, say, with 10 or 15 minutes of yoga?
In a perfect world, every child would have breakfast. Yogurt, fruit, something from at least 2 different food groups.
A lot of us will skip breakfast. Absolutely the worst thing to do.
A lunch which consists of, let's say, a sandwich and either a fruit or a vegetable.
Pretzels or fruits, grapes, carrot sticks, those are a great way to get some crunch and give you that little boost of energy we need to get home for the meal. So 3 meals, preferably not in front of a TV, after school snacks that exclude junk food. I would be happy.
Eating at the table with the TV off is the family meal. The benefit of family meals just goes on and on.
Lovely. Stretching. Good for the back, good for the spine, good for the hamstrings.
The general cost of obesity to our society was $75 billion in 2004, and the number is still increasing.
Half of it's direct costs for medication to treat obesity, costs for complications, hospitalization. The other half is indirect costs, where time lost from work, time lost from school. I think it is an overwhelming burden on our economy.
Children under poverty line, they are at least 30% more likely to be overweight.
I had a young lady come up to me believe she was in the 3rd grade. And I had been talking to her class for about 2 weeks about eating healthier. She said she went home and she talked to her mom about getting fresh fruits and fresh vegetables and using those as snacks. And her mom said that that was a good idea. However, it was a lot cheaper for her to go and buy, you know, hot dogs, pre-packaged like gummy fruits and gummy snacks and those kind of things than it is to go and get fruits and vegetables. Plus, the fruits and vegetables go bad so quickly.
I remember sitting in a soccer game with a number of dads, and one of the dads was talking about how he felt one of the kids out there was fat.
I have followed this family over a couple of years and identified a problem the first year and said, you know, not only is the weight out of proportion to the height, but quite frankly, your child is overweight.
Both of her parents were overweight and had type 2 diabetes. They were in their early 20s. And their parents had type 2 diabetes, and it was just really sad because, you know, this little beautiful, beautiful little girl, you know, sitting there on the bed with her IV drip.
One of the dads was talking about how he felt one of the kids out there was fat. And chubby was ruining the chances of that team actually going to any kind of playoffs because he couldn't move because he was too overweight.
At first, in the room, there wasn't really a sense of urgency to change anything. There wasn't any idea that any disease would afflict this child.
20 years from now, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, what is life going to be like for her?
He said, you know, everybody in my family looks like this. And I didn't realize that my son was really overweight and not able to keep up on a physical level like the other kids until I started coming to these games.
And I sat there and I thought, I don't know how to get through to this family. This young lady needs to make a change.
Is she going to have cardiovascular disease? Is she going to have a stroke at 30 or 40? Is she going to lose a foot? Is she going to lose a limb? Is she going to have kidneys that fail? Is she going to lose her eyesight from this?
3 generations of diabetes, 3 generations of high blood pressure, at least 2 generations of early heart attack or early stroke. And this young lady has no control over that part of her family history.
I think that's where we are right now, is trying to figure out how do we stop this process that's happening in our communities every day? How do we stop the process now so that children never get to that point? So that ideally adults never get to that point.
This epidemic is a major threat to the health of our country. It's costly, it's increasing, and it's going to drive our medical costs upward in a way that our country will be unable to control.
It takes time to reverse these trends. We're going to have a whole cultural change. We're going to have to approach it from the family perspective, what a family eats. We're going to have to look at a perspective of what kind of physical activities the children engage in and make sure it's safe for them to do that.
And, you know, they need to get out more. They're just sitting in front of the TV, watching TV all the time. They're playing video games all the time, and they don't get out. They need to get out. They need to get moving and get motivated and do stuff.
In the neighborhoods that we live in, we have to be sure that our parks are accessible, that they're there for children to play with, and that children and parents feel safe about letting their children go to those parks.
The world is getting a little rounder, and we want to see the kids live long and happy lives, and they feel so much better about themselves when they feel good and they're not sluggish. And that's what we're trying to do, is just keep them up and moving.
We need to walk to school with our children if that's possible. We need to push our education departments, our local education departments, to provide not only physical education, but physical education programs in which children are active most of the time.
There's no magic piece of equipment, there's no magic exercise. It's just, you have to find the thing that you enjoy and that you will do, and if you can grab a friend and do it with someone, you're much more likely to do it on a regular basis and put a little more effort into it and have a fun time with it.
More vigorous efforts have to be made to connect local markets, local farms to markets. So that, for example, strategies that, like school gardens, strategy like neighborhood gardens, strategies like farmers markets, strategies that connect the local production to consumption are a way of making fresh fruits and vegetables readily available, as well as lowering the price because you don't pay the transportation costs.
We forget that food is something that we should enjoy every single day. All the members of the family being involved in food preparation. So enjoying that whole process of cooking and going to the market and maybe gardening, raising herbs, and just enjoying, you know, the whole sensory experience of food and slowing down.
It's everything in moderation. I think if most people could get that in their heads and remember it, it'd be okay, instead of thinking, I can't have it, I can't have it, I can't have it, and then all of a sudden diving into it and eating an entire sundae when all you probably needed was a nice little scoop of ice cream to help curb that craving.
We just can't wag our fingers and say stop eating so much and exercise more. We have to provide a framework for the families to be able to understand what is healthy nutrition, what is a good balance of exercise and nutrition, how do we begin to lose weight and then keep it off. It's not just as simple as calories in versus calories out, it's all the other social aspects of that that have to be brought into play.
You know, we didn't get this way overnight, and these are not easy solutions.
It's going to take a concerted effort on many levels and for a long time.
I learned that you're not supposed to go out and eat fast food.
Well, I've learned how to eat better, how to exercise more, and how to contain my limits.
Do exercise every other day, and then when you feel comfortable with it, try doing it every day.
Play more and drink water.
And eat together with your family.
I think it's really important to sort of process with kids on the end of the day, how did it go today? And if your child is struggling with weight, you say, how was it with your friends? Were you teased? What did people say to you? And help kids understand that the things that other people say do not have to determine who they are.
I think we need a bigger voice to childhood obesity. We need a bigger voice that will speak to the fast food restaurants, that will speak to the media, that will speak to advertising, that will speak loudly and say, be responsible, be considerate. These are kids, not adults, and be mindful that they are our future, and that if you don't treat them kindly or be considerate or be mindful of the choices we make, then we're making it difficult for their future.
I know that I still have a lot of work to do, but I know that I've done a lot of work, you know, and so it's okay. I will get better at this too.
I believe in myself. I honor myself. I respect myself.
It is okay to make a mistake.
I forgive myself if I make a mistake. I learn from making my mistakes. I love myself no matter what.
I ask for help when I need it. I feel my feelings. There are no right or wrong, good or bad feelings.
Not enough fruits and veggies. I said veggies.
Say the question again. Not too much, not enough activity.
Ah, man. All right. Okay. Not enough fruits and vegetables.
This is scary.
It's complicated.
It's completed.
I'm sorry, complicated.
It's complicated.